All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Bunny Girl Senpai, Season 1, Episode 1.
No, we are not doing the full Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, because that would be just a bit much.
But I'm a rascal, and...
Yeah. Oh, boy. No,
I've been dreaming about the day that we'd actually react to this.
Really, yes. So one of the things, interesting backstory for this show. This was one of those shows that came out, and I'm like, okay, I hear the name, and I'm like, that sounds hilarious. And it also sounds like something that we will never react to, because why would we react to a Bunny Girl show, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just watch it on my own time. This will be great.
Okay.
Turns out, had a ton of fun with it, but also, title's very misleading. So
yes, I've heard that the show has a lot of very interesting potential and good drama and...
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say anything
and
about it, but it's
stuff.
The title is like technically accurate, and that's it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's a marketing gimmick, basically, to get a bunch of people to watch it.
Yep.
And then once they've suckered you in, you're like, wait, I came for Bunny Girls, but I stayed for blank.
Insert. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's rather interesting. This has only about a cour's worth of episodes.
Yes, it is a one-cour show at the moment. There is also a movie, which I have not seen, that we will be watching afterwards.
Okay, sweet. So we'll have a half-blind experience for the show.
And then a full blind for the movie.
Yep. And then there's a possibility of more seasons?
Maybe. It was a very popular show, and they did get a movie, so there is that, but I don't think there's any news on that front
Maybe they can call the second season Bunny Girls Senpai, plural, and they can extra market bait.
I don't think it'll work a second time.
You underestimate you overestimate the anime community, my friend.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
All right, here we are. New show. Yep.
Yeah.
And the thoughts.
Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's a mystery.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a drama immediately yet. Like this is something where we're getting that little elements of, maybe blends of like Haruhi, where you've got like strange happenings and such. And
strange happenings tied to character issues that they kind of need to get resolved. And
yes, that's the very definite maybe Monogatari
inspiration,
kind of inspired kind of thing there. But the part that's rather interesting is that they're already kind of centering it around Golden Week and then a couple other things with
those are common things that happen in
but then also starting off the story at potentially near the end by having May 29th be where the story starts, and it's him being like, I met a bunny girl, but this is message I don't remember this or anything like that.
So
and then at the end of the episode it's the I'll never forget her. Well, you did apparently.
About that.
Yeah. So this is the story of how he does forget her, and she either just ends up remaining in his dreams.
Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
The other part that's just a little bit odd in general is that while this is a story that's very much focused on Sakuta here, his problem, if anything, his 3 gashes across his chest and stuff like that, he's very vague about any details surrounding it, so it's making it seem like it's way more focused on Mai's problem of, I get either unwanted attention from people that are like, oh, look, I'm gonna take a picture,
Right.
Or it's the I get zero acknowledgement, which is one of the most frustrating things.
Right, truly being invisible.
It's like when you're playing Among Us or something and you think your mic is muted, but it's not. I've never had that happen,
Or you're like, this person's the killer because of these logical reasons, and then the person's just like, nah, I don't believe you. I think you're the killer. Yeah, no, it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. But the stuff that they've got set up so far with Mai and Sakuta, very, very fun dynamic.
Yes,
characters.
Sakuta is one of my favorite things about this series. Like he's refreshing, you know. Like,
okay.
Like his just the way he speaks his mind, you know, of like,
oh sure,
like, oh yeah, she's stepping on his foot is like a, you know, okay, you're annoying me right now, and then he's like, I have the pleasure of you stepping on me.
Yeah, he's like, I'm actually glad to. I'm thankful.
Yep. This is wonderful.
This is amazing. Then his whole thing of like, who the hell would be attracted to their little sister?
Oh my God, that was. As far as character introductions, I can't be understated how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
Basic, like. Just
I
getting
may be a
that
perv,
out of the way.
But I'm not a monster.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Let's draw the line here. Because it's so often just a thing of like, ha ha ha, Japan.
Right.
No.
Nope.
He's just like, why the hell would anyone be...
And I gotta say, it's something where, like, so I'm really glad that you picked out Kaede in the OP of like, I get the feeling I'm gonna really like that character.
I could just tell, man.
Because when
I just wanted to protect, like, just.
Because when I first started watching this show, right, and I have no idea what it's gonna be about. I'm like, bunny girl, senpai, whatever. Okay, all right. And then immediately there's like the little sister character that's like, oh, you know, were you aroused or something? And I'm like, oh God, like I hate her already. And then he's like, what kind of a brother would be attracted to his younger sister? I was like, yes, thank you.
But that still didn't necessarily make you like her.
That didn't make me like her. But then later it's like, oh no, cyberbullying and stuff, you know, cuts that just manifest on her and everything. Oh, yeah, she just keeps herself locked up in, you know, the house because that's the way that she can be safe, right? Yeah. And then it's like, okay, now all of that kind of dependency on the brother actually makes sense, right? There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
But okay.
It's like hardest about face, like in one episode for a character that I've had in a long time.
Yeah, gotcha. The characters that we've been introduced to are quite many, actually.
Yes.
There's a lot of names that we just kind of got thrown at us without their characters really giving us too much there, because the focus should be, I would say, primarily on
our main cast.
Right, but where the central conflict is located, and it's between Mai and Sakuta, at least at this moment in time. And Mai's character is one that I find really interesting to be the primary focus, because if her problem is one that is focused on being seen, and then she wished that she wouldn't be seen like this, and she kind of got her wish.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, then what could be happening here on some level is that even if it's not always negative or positive, like it's not one way or the other, people's thoughts, desires, and what have you are being made manifest through something.
Right, this puberty syndrome thing. Yeah,
very
scientific.
Sure, but the story decided to have the one time we brought up any kind of real world concept here be focused around the scientist girl basically saying what she says is legit, so pay attention to what she said, because it's the first episode.
She'll give some sense to the, you know, crazy happenings that are happening.
But her thing, I would say, is more specifically relegated to Mai's initial problem regarding Schrodinger's cat and observation theory. And then we have a cat in this episode as well. So, you know, it's just like, hey, what she said is legit. Pay attention to it. And if what it is that right now she's Schrodinger's cat, basically, and we're in that moment where she is, there's a progression, like she is slowly disconnecting more and more from the world.
And it's not just that people can't see her, but they are starting to not remember that she existed, because if it was just being invisible, then it's like, okay, that does cause issues with like trying to get groceries and stuff. Theoretically she could just steal them, you know, but whatever.
Theoretically,
but you know, that's a problem, right? You know, people are gregarious creatures. We need to have society in order to, you know, really function.
Seriously, having been going through social isolation for very large periods of time, I can just tell you that
that is a necessity.
That is a necessity, introvert or not.
Right.
So this is a very fascinating focus point for the story, and having it be something that she wanted, and now she's starting to maybe panic and get anxious about in general, and that Sakuta is maybe one of the few people that can still see and remember her because he had such a bunny girl in the library, kind of
I've
moment
had
with
this
that.
dream.
Yeah, I've had this dream. Yeah. And she stepped on him, for God's sake.
Right, exactly.
But eventually, he's going to forget her. Eventually. So in the meantime, what kind of influence, help can he be for her?
Sure.
And also back towards him, can she be for him? And that's where I think a lot of the cool aspects of the story will be. But another little kind of observation thing, they decided to be very specific about the time, like what day it is, which means that, a few things. They don't have to tell the story linearly.
That's true.
They've already
broken that rule in media res and all that. Yeah.
Right. So at the very least, we can have alternate perspectives on the same day, which is something that's pretty
fun,
pretty cool in a potential way. We can also have moments where we jump ahead or jump back and kind of look at like a day that we skipped or a day that we haven't been to yet, and kind of look at it outside of the context of the regular linear day-by-day progression that it would take to get there.
Yeah, like so theoretically, if Sakuta when he forgets about Mai, there could be a day where it's like, oh, here's Sakuta's day, and then it shows like Mai's day, and she's actually like right there the whole time, but you can't see her anymore or something like that or whatever. Right? And plenty of opportunities.
That's the one that I'm thinking about with regards to the perspective, is that at any point we can cut to the future and show Mai being unobservable.
Yeah.
And it's all from her perspective.
That would be pretty crazy.
That could be really cool. Another thing that's very low likelihood, but one of the things that, me, I'm this kind of person to constantly bring up this kind of theory up just in general. And since I got the slightest bit of Haruhi vibes, I have to go here.
Okay.
Is any kind of time muckery or anything like that, because we mentioned dates, we have strange phenomena, and we have a guy that looks just, for whatever reason, just too much like Sakuta. And now crackpot theory time over. So
yeah, Kunimi is basically just add a few inches and a few pounds and slightly change the hairstyle.
And the main reason actually why I initially thought of this was this is a message to my future self, which is a thing of like,
gotcha.
Well, obviously it's because of memory. It's because of memory, and really in a way, memory is like perspective time travel in a lot of ways. If you lose memory regarding a person, it's like saying that
and it only works into the past.
Right. Anyway, if we have this focus be around Sakuta interacting with Mai, and then he's her kind of avatar into the
anchor point. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Then one of the things that I could see being really cool is that it's his way of trying to help showcase her to the world.
Sure.
To be like Will Smith, with like
or Tanjiro, like
exactly. But the real, I would say, like big potential thing here is that like ultimately, like, people have to help themselves, right?
Yes.
Or want to be helped in these kinds of ways. And we saw a very awkward moment happen where he started to make some assumptions.
Right.
And I liked that the show did this, and I'm going to go back to the scene specifically, but he started to...
he started to make observations.
He started to make observations, but they weren't based on...
it wasn't some empirical data.
It wasn't empirical data, yes. He's like, it looks like you want to go back. When did I ever say that? No, you didn't. But we're staring a hole through that movie poster on the train.
Right.
I think you should do what you want to do. You've got the ability and track record, and even your manager wants you back. Leave her out of this.
Right. And then she very quickly leaves and doesn't go to school.
Ask for your opinion, and she's gone.
Yep.
Now,
just like that.
Now, there's two things that are very important to bring up here. Is one, he's basically saying there's a couple things with the way that you act. He said you act completely invisible at school, so to prevent this from getting any worse, I think you should go back to showbiz. Now, anytime someone says you should, you are in...
Should's a really weird word.
You're in uneasy ground. And the fact that he started with this as a, well, this will help, right?
Yeah, if people are constantly seeing you, then at least no one else will forget about you and all that stuff. Yeah.
Note, she says, where did that come from? With a smile on her face, basically saying that, hey, you're good right now.
Right.
That's not a problem. So she's used to, probably, people giving her you shoulds.
Sure.
And thus,
because she can
just like, oh, that's fine. Yeah, no worries.
Right. He's like, trying to be helpful, and she can tell.
Yeah, and it's like if you're all over TV, people won't ignore you even when you act invisible because, you know.
Yeah, you're on TV.
And it looks like you want to go back anyway. That's where things shift.
You don't know me. Like
Yeah. This is the part where I would say that the closest thing I could get to here is that she didn't disagree with what his assessment was. She says, when did I ever say that?
Right.
Basically saying, whoa. Did I accidentally reveal vulnerability to this guy? And this is, I think, the part where she's sore because of the fact that she was a child celebrity, is that she's been constantly vulnerable and on display. But somehow, when she was invisible, this guy is putting something that might have been internal within her on display.
Right. It's that whole thing of when people are dealing with things, they often don't want to have that be shown to them. You know, like it's
it's like, I already know about that.
I already know about that, and I already am trying to avoid it, you know. So
yeah. But you were staring a hole through that movie poster on the train. That does not correlate immediately to it there. So
what do you mean?
Just because she was staring a hole through the movie poster on the train, that doesn't mean that that's what she was feeling at that given time. So either his observation is really good here,
and it's unsettling her,
her in some way, or he ended up poking at two things and connected them.
Gotcha.
Or he poked at one thing and was right because of, well, I would say just decent, chance. It's not a hard observation to make, I would say.
Yeah.
But then the whole thing of maybe staring a hole at the poster was something where he was about to potentially, if he kept pushing, he could figure out something else from maybe.
Gotcha. And so it's a pull away from this situation before I'm forced to be any more vulnerable.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then he does the typical just generic, I think you should do what you want to do advice, right? And at that point, we are no longer focused on her face.
Gotcha.
So now we don't know how she's reacting to this in the immediate sense. And then you've got the ability and track record, and even your manager wants you back. Again, this is something where that was an assumption. The manager most likely, I would say, does want her back. That is why the manager
called her and all that, yeah.
But there's still a non-zero chance that it's not that.
Well,
and that it's something else.
But
then she goes, leave her out of this.
Well, and another way that it could potentially be something where maybe he's right, but that's why she snaps, is that if she's if she originally made the wish of I wish people wouldn't see me,
right?
Because she didn't like that people saw her as the star, right?
The character,
right? Sakurajima Mai, I think, yeah. And then the manager is the one person that is. It's their job to constantly see her as that. Yeah. Then that might also be something where it's the manager wants you back. It's like, well,
no, she wants the character.
Right, exactly. Does she actually see me or something, And then that might be an explanation for why she, lashes out.
For sure. But it's just this area there where communication gets really complicated because what you say
and then what
you mean
and then what they interpret from what you say.
Yeah. based on what they think you mean.
There's lots of ways for that to go wrong.
Exactly. This scene had a couple ways in which it could have gone very differently in each of their minds, basically, or the way they interpreted or perceived it, if you will. I would say that there's a very easy, this is the explanation. It's rather basic and easy to understand, and that's why I wanted to make sure I covered that one in the discussion, but also left open that these bits of lines here leave itself open to some potential
interpretation,
awkwardness, and interpretation.
Now, what do you think about the fact that she left the outfit with him?
Leaving the outfit felt like a tether, almost in some way.
Yeah?
Because when she says keep it, she kind of like turns her nose up at him with like almost a little bit of like indignance, like I don't care about it, which is like very forced and not at all. Like the fact that she kind of goes, like almost, she's so flustered by this whole thing she forgot it, honestly.
And
but
then she's like,
he's reminded it, she's like, I'm not going to give him any satisfaction. So
like I made a mistake and forgot about it.
Exactly. So if anything, this might be huge just in the story in general, because it's like, well, she comes back, later. in
Because
the
it's
episode.
like, well, gotcha. And maybe her excuse is, well, I actually do need the bunny girl outfit.
Yeah, except she can't even, hide back the fact that she's hungry.
Right.
And it's been 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's been two weeks.
From May 6th, so we're at about the 20th.
We're about the 20th now, yeah.
Maybe a little bit later if it took a couple days for them to have that spat.
Yeah, she is capable of eating the cream bun in the earlier parts of the episode, right? The one that...
When he gives it to her,
When he gives it to her?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, so not an actual ghost, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so this is more based on observation and people's capabilities rather than her, status as a
corporeal entity.
Yeah, whether she's corporeal or incorporeal or what have you.
Yeah, she still needs food and can eat food. Yeah.
I am very excited to see the mystery unveil more about these characters, and then have the characters in some ways have to grapple with the fact that there's something more going on.
Something going on.
Yeah.
Now, OP and ED. Now, we didn't get the full ED because I think there was stuff, going on in the middle.
I really like the ED.
The ED, it sounds great, doesn't it?
Really good.
Yeah.
It feels very fitting for this show. I need to listen to the OP a couple more times before I fully...
Before you start belting out Kimi no Se?
Sure, yeah. Like, I feel like the OP was too fast.
Okay.
I liked how slow the ED was.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah. But do you have a preference, OP or ED?
I don't know. Like, they're both really good for very different reasons. Like, I have very fond memories of just YouTube comments where it's just like, da-da-da-da, absolutely nothing happening. Kimi no Se. But...
just that it doesn't have like a slow instrumental build up.
It's just all of a sudden
lyrics.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm rather excited to have a short show as well with a very dedicated character focus aspect to it as well.
And I appreciate that you appreciate Kaide or I can't figure Kaide, yeah. From the little we've gotten over so far, because that was probably one of my biggest happy surprises from this show, other than just the fact that it doesn't actually have much to do with bunny girl stuff.
I mean, that might be like the totem that she has that's in the story or something like that. But at the very least, also Sakuta's just general quips. I'll order you an ambulance then, since you seem to have hit your head. Yes, thank you for stepping on me. He is a very simple character right now, but a lot of the things that they're doing are trying to make him the everyman of his current age, and you can feel that at little moments like this where it's like, this is the audience. There you go. All right. Yep.
Yeah. Throw him a bone. Yeah.
Right. Also, is this based off a light novel?
I believe so.
It very much feels like it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to maybe be able to tell the difference between when something was
light novel
versus manga first, because it was the moment when he read the message to himself, and it was like, stick around till near the end.
Oh.
And that was the moment where I was like, light novel. Yep.
Right, like this is the thing at the beginning of the light novel, and then it's like,
finish this light novel if you want a good story. There will be more, if this is successful, but you should stick around until the end. That was just it felt very meta and, like a thing that is a writing hook versus a visual art kind of with speech writing bubbles.
Yeah. And that is one thing that I really, really love whenever it's got like to just sort of think about, is how when things are adapted from light novels, how are the light novels like? How does it change the story of the anime? Because there, you'll want to have there be still that crisp story for that first light novel, as opposed to like a manga where it's chapter by chapter. It's a lot more broken down. But
yeah, I feel like with a manga, you can tell a little bit because the visuals that they focus on that end up being more dramatic.
Sure.
Are more tied in with a big story moment. And the big story moments in here are in the simplest of kind of settings and what have you. Yeah. So that's probably where also the story doesn't necessarily need that. But I would say the main reason why I would say it could have been a manga first is just the bunny girl in the library.
Here's a design, yeah.
Like, that is a very good visual hook as well, to be like, oh, that's odd. Yeah. I need to finish this manga now.
And if it wasn't a manga, you can bet that it was probably
eventually made into a manga.
Well, but also probably the cover for the first light novel.
Oh, sure. That's a good point.
Like,
that's a very good point. You don't need anything more than the cover. Like that gets the whole message across too.
Yep. Yeah. But
perfect.
Yeah, this is a fun show.
Yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yes, we stream every weekday. The info is in the description down below.
Yes, if ain't that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.